Hi, and welcome back to my second solo video. What I would like to do with these videos is to think out loud and get some feedback from the comments and try to figure out how everything works. And if I can help somebody else along the way, why not? And it will also help me thinking deeply about different issues. And you guys might offer a different perspective, or if I miss something, you might correct me or criticize me. Whatever it is, I think is all productive and it will be good. Today, I'm going to discuss about a topic, something that we face every year, and that is New Year's resolutions. By the way, Happy New Year, Happy 2024. I hope it started for you in the best possible way. And you might even have started the new year by doing a resolution, starting something for your life, something that is going to change you. And I've done that too many times actually. And I failed miserably many times. Every time that I promised myself that I was going to do something, and then I just tagged along with it for some time, and then everything fell off. I had my goal to read one book a week 2 years ago. I was succeeding until week maybe 10. Then something went wrong. I started not having time. I skipped once, and then it went all away, and I stopped reading that fast altogether. So I just did it slower, but yeah, I couldn't keep that pace for long. See, I'm finding an excuse here. So there was this opinion piece in the New York Times, and it was on December 26th, and the title of this article is "This year, make a resolution about something bigger than yourself." Now, he starts like this: the assumption behind resolutions is that something must be corrected and improved. One vows to be better than one was the year before. And then he goes on to talk about that the historian philosopher Lewis Mumford believed that the clock was the greatest invention of all times because not the steam engine, because time has a more commanding relationship that has a greater influence on the expenditure of human energy to this extent, because it touches everything in life. He even says it touches even love. Thus, there's always the melancholic desperation and urgency when we shout Happy New Year. Would this new year, in fact, be any better than last? We resolve that it will. We resolve to be fitter, healthier, cleverer, richer, more successful, more popular, more productive, better dressed, happier. And so restarts the whole vain, foolish, inevitably disappointing cycle. The trouble with all such self-oriented promises is that they deal in chicken feed. What does the great white world care if you lose weight or work out or work harder or quit drinking or smoking? And quit smoking or smoke 3 packs a day, work out daily or let yourself go. It's your choice, your life, your little life. Meanwhile, the whole tortured, self-destructive, polarized, endangered, extraordinary world spins on. What if instead of planning our exercise regimens, we focused on our intentions on all that is undesirable in human activity? Wars, bigotry, brutality, the despoiling of the earth, and sought to address it. What if instead of making a milquetoast resolution, we made an airtight commitment? And he mentions something that the writer Walt Whitman writes and says, this is what you shall do. Love the earth and the sun and the animals, despise riches. Give alms to everyone who asks. Stand up for the stupid and crazy, he continues. Re-examine all you have been told at school or church or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem. So he mentions that this is how we should go on with resolutions. And then he mentions another story that I think is very nice, that is really important. An editor of mine told me a story from his childhood on his grandparents' farm in Iowa. The little boy, looking out for over acres and acres of corn, asked his grandfather, "How are we going to shuck all that corn?" His grandfather said, "One row at a time." This is really important. I think it's really great to mention this. And then he says, thus too, it is how to improve the world, and we can start small. And the author mentions that he does acts of kindness by reading kids' stories, by helping people. If somebody is alone, he does company. Or you see, it says, "I vow to give alms to everyone who asks and those who don't." Or stand up for the stupid and crazy. The stupider and crazier, the better. And he promises, like, to keep an eye for stray cats, dogs, or people and bring them to safety and comfort. And then he goes to the reader, does this address to the reader and says, what will you do right now, this week, this month, to make a better world? Stage a protest, send a letter to right a wrong, or to proffer friendship. A thoughtful and sympathetic letter to a friend in sorrow or distress is a powerful thing. Lend a hand, offer a word of comfort or inspiration or support or love, donate money, or most valuable of all, time. There are so many ways to move this world, right within reach. The great beautiful irony of all this, of course, is that selflessness is not the opposite of self-improvement. Selflessness is self-improvement, the most meaningful and lasting kind. And then he says, practice it, and you may just find that the new year is, in fact, a step from the last. You may find that all at once you look better than you would have ever had, and any amount of dieting and exercise. Well, I'm kind of skeptical about this. I'm burdened of ego, lighter on your feet. And he says that practice it, and your little life has gotten big. Big life, grand life is like art. It is not done well unless the artist dreams expansively, ridiculously, by making a glorious Whitman-sized fool of herself in seeking to enhance everything, cure every ill, nothing less. What do I have to say about this? Well, while it is great to make a resolution in order to change the world, to do something, we also need to acknowledge that if we are in a bad place with our life, if we're unhealthy, if we are emotionally, we have emotional issues, if we're going through hard times, if we're unable to provide that help, because my theory is, how can I put myself out there and provide help to somebody when I'm not all right? I mean, maybe that came out a little bit wrong, but I'd say it's always a great chance and opportunity to provide help to somebody. Yes, I know that. But I think it will be much easier if it comes from a place of health, vitality, of well-being, of wellness, of emotional stability, because just think about it. It is great that people make these commitments every year because they start new. Let's start from scratch. Yes, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. There's a problem. It doesn't last. Why it doesn't last? Because there's not a why behind it. There's not an emotional attachment. We just say we're going to do something, but then we don't keep our word. And nowadays, we really don't do what we mean. We don't say what we mean first, and we don't do it. So that's the greatest problem. And I'm not saying this like I'm a saint or something, like everyone else. I'm human and I'm vulnerable to all of these things. Maybe I'm just saying it because other people think it, but I'm saying it. I'm saying it to you now through a camera, through an iPhone actually. So what is the deal with this? Is it bad doing resolutions? I don't think it's bad per se in itself having a resolution, because resolution is just like motivation. It's just a little spark that gets you going and gets you going for a while and then just falls off if you skip it, or like in my case. But I think there is more. There has to be more, because I cannot go and live on my life as a resolution. What if I make a resolution that can last me my whole life? Why don't I vow to seek self-improvement, to do things that will better my condition and my life, to have a positive outlook on the world, and to be fit and healthy, to exercise, to commit to something and move on and carry on with that. The thing is that you need to create a habit first, and you really need to put the work in, especially, and then create a routine, but then it becomes discipline. You see, motivation is not a good metric like happiness that I mentioned the previous time, because motivation will get you going for a while. Oh yeah, we're going. Yeah, let's go and do it. Like you're in a group of people. Everybody gets pumped up when they're going to do it. But if they do it together, they stick with it, because you got to keep each other accountable. If one person starts to fail and then another person starts to fail, and then pretty much the whole group starts to go down. But if you got maybe 5 people, 3, or even 2 that want to do something together, they can carry on and do it. But if they still keep the spirits high and the motivation, but motivation in this case is not acceptable, because I said it's just like that for the spark, for the beginning, it's like a fire. You want to keep a fire going? Light it up. That's your motivation. But in order to keep the fire going, you got to keep on feeding wood. And where are you going to get the wood? You got to chop the wood to feed it into the fire. I don't know if it's a good analogy, this, for you to understand, or maybe if it's a dumb one, but at least it's easy to understand. So you got to keep on lighting that fire and keep on giving and keep on going, because if you don't put any wood anymore in the fire, so what's going to happen is that the fire is going to turn off, and then you're going to be cold and you're going to freeze. Not in the literal sense, but kind of your habit and the thing that you are doing is going to die. Take, for example, you want to do diet and exercise. That's the most common thing that people would have a resolution to do every year. And I go to the gym, and January, the first two weeks of January, it's full of people, packed, because everybody's in because of their resolutions. After 2 weeks, as you may have noticed, nobody. It's like business as usual. Maybe somebody will stick around and keep on going, but others won't. And to this extent, I cannot blame everybody. Everybody has a different set of experience, have a different life, and they see the world under a different lens than I do. Because sometimes I can acknowledge that I can be a little bit more harsh, because I'm harsh on myself. I want to keep myself going and be hard on myself, and exert that discipline on me, that I don't want to stay in bed too long because I know that I got to do something and I feel better after I've done it. But everybody's different. So you need to find different motivations that will keep you going. And the same thing with the motivation, the resolution is the spark to keep you going. It might be something that is long lasting and that will last you for a lifetime, but it's something that you need to be serious about. And as I said before, I failed miserably with it, and there was nothing I could do. I could get back to it, but I just felt unable. I don't have to do this. So I didn't give it much importance. I didn't think it was that vital to do it anymore. And so we got here. Should you have a resolution? Well, yeah, go ahead, have a resolution. But in my opinion, you should have a resolution for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, maybe. Where are you going to be? What are you going to do? And It might be idiotic for me to mention this, but saying like the simple habit of goal setting. How do you set a goal? That's what a resolution is. We just say something up in the air. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. But what if you have actually a structure and you take a piece of paper and you wrote down what you want to do, what result you want to accomplish, and how many little things you got to do before you can accomplish this goal. And most of the time, what I read in different books is that goal setting can be, it's easy to say that you're going to do something, but set your goal. And then from here, just have a timeline where you're going to accomplish it. And then have many little steps that will build you up when you want to get to that point, to the final goal. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, perfect. You're already a winner if you're thinking that you want to do something, that you want to change something in your life. In this case, your health, because if you continue like this, it's probably going to kill you sooner or later, And 50 pounds, cool. How am I going to do it? I'm going to eat healthy, going to drink more water, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do cardio, lift weights, all this, and this. Okay, how much of it should I do every day in order to lose 50 pounds? By what? How many pounds per week I want to lose? In a healthy way, of course. And then you go on, and that's how you should do it slowly. But it's not, many times it's not perfect. You will have plateaus, you might fall down, but what matters is that you get back at it. So there's always this Japanese term that is fascinating for me that is called Kaizen. And Kaizen, there's an entire philosophy behind it, but in lay terms means that no matter what, you're going to have small accomplishments, small progress over a long period of time, even if it means by a fraction of a percent, like 0.01% every day, the minimum, you will just improve every day. By the law of the compounding effect, you know that if you do 0.1% every day, sooner or later, after a year, you will have achieved so much just by doing one little thing at a time. And that's what we fail to do most of the time, because we want to achieve greater things. We want to chew more than we can bite. I don't know if you say like this, chew more than you can bite. But yeah, probably you could take more than you can deal with on your hands, and ultimately you see this goal that is too big, it's intimidating, and then you just stop doing altogether because it's something that is too big to tackle. So my personal philosophy is have a resolution for your life, and you can have a resolution every year to set a new challenge for yourself and try to keep a steady discipline, and of course be true to yourself. And when you say you're going to do something, that you're going to do it. While I agree with the author that we can make the world better, I do firmly believe that, but we can do that when we are better as well, because everything starts from the individual and then it's going to radiate out. And yes, can we change really the world? I don't know. That's a big question. It depends how far we can go, but we can start locally. We can start in our house. If we can not change really, but like help out, make our house better, the people around us better, then our friends, our coworkers, and our social circles, and expand our influence, and trying to be a light of positivity for the people around us. I don't want to sound like a Hallmark card here, but when you're happier, it's contagious and you can spread it around easier. And it just means that you have a positive outlook for your life and for the people around you. And as the kid said, the boy in the essay said there, how are we gonna deal with all this corn? Well, the grandfather said, one row at a time. I don't know if you heard this term, think locally, act globally. I don't remember what the hell. How was that? Act locally, think globally. Yes. So there's some things, small things that you could do better for yourself, from the people around you, and it starts from you. I think you're the center, and there's some problems that you might need help to tackle at the same time. Always referring to the essay there. So this is my idea, and if you guys find it useful, take what you like, throw away the rest. If you have any positive feedback, write it down in the comments. If you like what you see with the podcast and Charlie and the other activities that you see on our channel, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll see you next time.